30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, once again, it is indeed time to get our talk on. It's Morning Talk with me, your host, J.C. McCauley. In studio with me, none other than the one and only Cleo Duke-Wright. Good morning, Miss Cleo. How you doing?
Good morning. Well, I'm doing okay.
You had a busy past week.
Oh yeah, it was pretty busy, pretty strenuous, but hey, we get through. We get through.
All right. So you feeling all right? You look like you're under stress.
Wow. I am. I really am under stress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, taking care of my husband, and it gets hard sometimes. It gets hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am under a little stress. I thought I was going to be late today.
You were not late.
I'm rushing. I'm trying to get him to his daycare by 8:30, so I could get here by 9. And so it's never easy getting him out of the house. You know, he always has. Well, if you know my husband, you know he always has a lot to say. So he's saying, and I'm trying to get him out the house, but we made it. He got to the daycare. I got here, so that's okay. And you gave me a cup of coffee. Thank you so very much. So that's good. But I was thinking, I'm listening to the radio this morning about Christmas, and the question was, what kind of Christmas are you going to have? So, and I said, what kind of Christmas am I going to have? And then they just named some kinds of Christmas that some of them are going to have, that they decided that they wanted a real Christmas that celebrated Jesus, a real Christmas that the light has come into the world, a real Christmas with and they were saying that was really a tough time. That wasn't they were really going through a lot, and there was really a lot of pain through that, you know, the birth of Christ. And so they said, what kind of Christmas are you gonna have? So I was wondering to myself, what kind of Christmas am I gonna run around and doing a lot of shopping, which I really do not want to do. I really don't want to go to the malls.
Do you usually shop at Christmas time?
I shop a little, but I never do the malls and do all of that stuff and Black Friday. And no, I never do that. And I usually have a pretty quiet Christmas. This year I'm going to have a Christmas tree. I have decorations and things, but this year I'm going to have a tree. I decided, but I would like a family Christmas.
And is that like families? Everybody comes over to the house, or you go over everyone else's house?
You know, it really. I would wish that they would come to my house, but that's not their custom, so I don't care. You know, go to a family member's house, but I would like a family Christmas, which I probably won't get that much. But then how are you going to make your Christmas? And they were talking about seniors that are alone. I'm not alone, but they don't have that companionship and that family anymore. And this time of the year is a very tough time for them.
Yeah. I would imagine so, because as you get older, and inevitably and unfortunately, friends and loved ones have passed.
Yes.
And so Christmas brings back a flood of memories for most people. And if you're alone, you know, that's probably the worst feeling. Unless you're, even if you're a person that likes solitude, you know, being alone is kind of.
It's not, well, we're not supposed to be alone. I don't know why we don't know that. We listen to people.
We're not meant to be alone.
We're not meant to be alone. This alone thing, I can do it myself. Is
lonely.
Is not the right thing to do, because we weren't meant to be alone at all. I see groups of people gathering. I see where I live, you know, people having little get-togethers and just being together, you know. So I think that's a good thing that I'm in that kind of a building. But yeah, I was listening that there are, in 2022, there were 50,000 suicides in America.
Wow.
And the seniors, predominantly senior, they said men in their 70s and women in their 60s that are alone, you know, and they were talking about that. So I said, just what kind of, I used to have wonderful Christmases, and not only with my family, you know, because I did the, I was at the Christmas breakfast for the homeless, and you serve and you do this thing, and you're sort of being around people, and you go home and you're with family or with friends, because, you know, sometimes friends are closer than family. So you're with someone and it was just a joyous day, you know. But it's kind of slacked off now. I guess I could still do that, but I'm so busy with other things and with caretaking and that kind of thing. I don't have time. So now I have to create, and we have to create our own time, our own Christmas. What kind of Christmas do you want? What kind of Christmas are you going to have this year? Not only, because I always say, oh, I have to give my grandchildren this, and I have to give my grandchildren that. I don't have to give my grandchildren nothing. I'm sorry. I don't have to give my grandchildren nothing except for my love.
Except for, oh, no man but to love them.
Yeah. And if you don't want to, you know, grandparents, you know, some of you are going through the same thing. They don't come over to see you. So, you know, but they expect. So, no, just do you. And be with your friends and those family members who really want to be, you know, together. And I love my grandchildren, and I wish they were just all around me all the time, and they would come to visit me, and we would sit down and have a good time and laugh and do the things that I did with my grandma. My grandmother hardly ever gave me anything except at Christmas time. And then she worked with these people in West Hartford, and she used to bring home little things. And one time she brought home these shoes for my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And she did not bring me anything. You know, that was not cool. How could you bring her something? I said to my grandmother, and not bring me anything. The next week, my grandmother had something for me. I didn't care what it was. It came from my grandmother. So, you know, I want a relationship like that with my grandchildren. She didn't have to give me anything. I just love being with her, you know. But that's not the case. The case is, you know, what are you going to give me? You know, your grandmother didn't do, that's not the right kind of gift. This is not the this. You know, she should have done bum. You know, I said, what are you talking about? I don't know what they're talking about. You know, so I decided, since they took back a lot of things that I gave them, I just give them money now. And so now I come to the fact that if you don't love your adorable grandmother who want to be with me sometime, maybe I won't even give you that. Maybe just go on about your business, you know. So I don't know. So that's where I am now. This is what, December 5th?
It is December the 5th.
December 5th. So I have maybe a week or two to figure out what kind of Christmas I'm going to have. I'm very serious about this. What kind of Christmas am I going to start to create for myself to enjoy this time of year, the darkest time of year, the darkest time in all the year is right now. So how am I gonna bring in the light on Christmas, a real light that may shine throughout the whole year, or at least 6 months? I don't know.
That's a very interesting idea, notion, conversation, thought. So I guess ultimately the question is, what kind of, if I was asking the question, or the viewer was asking the question. So if I'm asking the question is, what kind of Christmas am I going to have? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
What kind of Christmas are you going to have?
Am I going to have? And how much of it can I create for? What do I want?
Well, I guess that extends, you know, if Christmas is the starting point, I guess it extends from there to the rest of the years. Like, how responsible are we for our own frame of mind, happiness, and well-being? And how much of that frame of mind, happiness, and well-being is directly dependent upon the actions of other people.
I'm really thinking and knowing my experience throughout this entire year, which has been different than any year I've ever lived, that it has to be, for me, this Christmas, I have to create it inside so I could give it away to you. Do you know what I'm saying? I have to build it up so I could share it. But when you work yourself half to death,
there's nothing there to share.
There's not much. Absolutely, there's not much to share.
Share it out.
Share it, except getting tired. Like I know I told you the story about Thanksgiving and how tired I was. Well, there is no excuse that I should have even done that.
Yeah.
That was silly. That was not smart. And so I do this thing. I've done it all week, and it has worked a little bit. That I say head or feelings. What are you gonna do? You're gonna think this out, or you're gonna feel it out. What are you gonna do? So I had a situation, and I said, and my heart said, go do it. Go do it, Cleo. You know, my head said, this is not a smart thing to do. And no matter how much it hurts you not to do it, don't do it. So I said very weakly, I'm not doing that. No, it's head time. I'm not doing that. And so I didn't do it, and it turned out very nicely. I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do. But if I had gone by my feelings, what would have happened was what would have been happening all year. It would just perpetuate itself. It would just continue. And the games would still be played, and I'd continue, knowing, because I think after a while we know when we shouldn't do something and when we should, after we've had, been through it so many times. What's that saying? You keep on doing the same things and expecting a different result. So I play that game with myself, head feeling.
Well,
and I'm playing that game too with Christmas, creating Christmas. Head feeling, what are you going to do?
You bring up several really interesting points because, I was talking to my wife. I want to say yes. I was going to say the other day, but I guess it was yesterday, which I guess qualifies for the other day, I think. I was talking to my wife, and it's interesting that I said, people are feeling their way through life.
Yes.
I had to go out. My daughter, the kids can take water to school. So the kids walk around with water bottles. So she has a water bottle, but the strap broke. It's a plastic strap. I go to pick her up. First thing she says is, I don't know if she told me that her water bottle broke or that her sister told me that her water bottle broke. But her younger sister, 7, is the one with the water bottle. They both have water bottles. 7's water bottle you could drop onto a floor, and you're more worried about the floor than the water bottle. Nia's water bottle, that is. 7's water bottle is plastic. She likes plastic. She wants to see the water. Strap broke. Sister proclaimed there's nothing wrong with the water bottle. Her little sister. She doesn't need a new water bottle. There's nothing wrong with it. She has to carry it by the strap. Backstory. So we went shopping yesterday. So I bought the daughter a new water bottle. But on the box that the water bottle came in, and it was so interesting because, of course, we're in the midst of this war in the Middle East. But the water bottle was made in Israel by both Jews and Arabs. This is on the outside of the box.
It was made by Jews and Arabs?
It says on the box, manufactured and assembled in Israel by both Jews and Arabs. That day was prominent right on the box. I'm like, when did this thing come out? Did they just release this? Or is this a new thing? Or is this an old thing? But that has nothing to do with the water bottle. Nothing. But the headspace that it puts you in. Because, of course, my daughter appreciates this. Because her headspace is all there. Mm-hmm. And it caused me and my wife to have a really interesting conversation about where we are on the planet. That people are feeling their way through life. How they feel. They don't think anymore. It's just how one feels. So, if I feel like a pencil, I must be a pencil. I mean, but logic dictates I am not a pencil. I know I'm not a pencil. But I feel like a pencil. And decisions are made by how one feels. Political decisions are made by how one feels. Economic decisions are made by how one feels. People are feeling their way through life, and I don't know if that's such a good thing.
Sometimes feelings are good. I've felt my way through my whole life. That's why I know that sometimes it's terrible and sometimes it's great. But thinking your way through life is a little more difficult and takes a little more time. and you have to get everything. When you use your mind, you have to use everything.
Right. You don't have to be right.
Right.
You could be wrong.
But to get to a decision, the feelings come into it, the head comes in. You got to think about all of this stuff. And then when you have to, and that's hard if you're not used to, if you're not used to thinking. And so many people are not used to thinking. They think, but they don't think. Don't. People think for them, but they don't. They think. There's this test. Coke and Pepsi. And 9 times out of 10, they have this test taste. And more people like Pepsi than like Coke. But more people buy Coke than Pepsi. Because I guess Coke has better advertising. So it's not thinking. If they like Pepsi, they'd buy Pepsi, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't. They buy Coke.
We're told what to think.
That's absolutely.
And that's dangerous because that means that you lack critical thinking skills. So you want someone else to think for you.
And so many times.
And I'm telling you, we're in a dangerous place in our society because most people, I would say it's like, I have no empirical data. So I really don't know a number, but my observation is that 9 out of 10 people don't want to think. There's like 1 out of 10 that actually thinks.
We don't want to think, and I to tell you this situation. I did not want to think out this situation. I just wanted somebody to do it, and I didn't want to put in the work to get a more correct or a better answer for myself. I just wanted somebody else to do it for me because I hate dealing with cars and car dealers and garages, and I always think everybody's cheating me. So I go to one garage, they tell me one thing. I went to another garage, they told me another thing, and then I realized that I had already had that work done, so I take it back to this other garage. They said, that's right, you got to take it back to this person. So I take it back to this person. They said, oh, no. I said, see, the printout says this. And they said, yeah, well, we're going to have to do another analysis. And I said, what are you going to do another analysis for and charge me $300 when I'm telling you did the work in the first place? And they said, that's right. So if it's something wrong, we will not charge you that fee. And this person says, there's definitely something wrong with this. And then the other person says, well, what's wrong with this? And the other person says, so here I am with no knowledge of anything and no knowledge because I refuse to think about it. Mm-hmm. I refuse to do my homework. I just wanted the answer and I just wanted them to do it and I didn't want to think about it. And if I had to go get the money, I'll just go get some of the money. I'll do it a little at a time and I'll pay for the thing and bam, bam, bam. Well, you might have already had that work done 6 months ago. You might have, you know what I mean? This person might not be telling you the truth, or he might be telling you what he knows, but he doesn't know enough. And this person may be doing something else than that person. But it's up to me, the car owner, to sit down and figure out, okay, what is this? What is that? Get some clarity in the situation, and then make as an informed decision as I can make, and don't put it all the responsibility on those mechanics, because I have some responsibility too, so this is my week, Stan. This is my hard week part of my week of going around not knowing what to do, being scared to death the car is going to stop on me. Cars never stopped on me, runs just like it always runs, but all these things So we have to think about it and we have to make decisions. And maybe that decision we make is not right, but it's the best one you could make. So you make it. And then it's on you. You know, so thinking is not always easy.
Thinking
That's
is
what I'm trying.
it isn't always easy, and
we're used to people
it's
telling us what to do.
clearly hard work because a lot of people, they don't want to think about it.
No,
they don't want to think about it. I think that our minds are becoming lazy.
And we can't let that happen.
And we absolutely, because
we have got to step up our game.
Yeah. The worst form of slavery is mental slavery, because that's where it begins. Once you get out of that, then now we're going to have a rebellion. Because people know, they don't think, they know things can be different or better, and they're not going to take it anymore. And that's when they jump out, because they start thinking to get angry, I think. But thinking, it's a lot.
You can't be angry at everybody else and think that you're in it. You have nothing to do with the outcome of the situation. If you didn't put your 2 cents in, you shouldn't be saying anything. You didn't step out there. Mm-hmm. We can't always be taken care of by human beings. We're taken care of by God. Human beings are not going to take care of you. Continually take care of you. So I just that was my week, thinking about all of these things that I've just discussed. That's all of my things. It also comes to that thinking, my husband got a new medication. Mm-hmm. And so you take it for 2 weeks, and then you think, well, give him a 2 if this happens or that happens. And then I'm looking at it and I say, should I give him this? Should I give him this? Ba-da-da. Well, he is a grown person who wants to keep his independence. And I'm sure some of you out there are going through the same thing. People who have always been independent and did what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it, now they can't do it. They're going to fight you for their independence, even though they can't do it. And you're going to get frustrated. That's where caretakers are so important. And we need more and more caretakers because there's not enough caretakers out there. But that person says, I want my independence. I make my own decisions. I could do this. I can do that. Let me go do this and let me go do this. And you're looking at the person and says, why don't they know they can't do that anymore? And they can't do it anymore. My husband can't do the things that he used to do. And so he fights for his independence. He fights for his rights. And slowly, they're being taken away from him. So as they are diminishing, he is more aggressive in what he wants. And, I could do this and I could do that. And you're taking this away from me. And you're just doing this and you're this and you're that. And I was screaming all the time. I was screaming. Oh, my God. My son said, please stop screaming. I was screaming. What's wrong with you? Blah, 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 blah. But you have to come to the realization, what if it were you? And you couldn't do what you always did? How would you react? In the beginning of this, how would you react? Would you just give up just like that? Or would you fight? And I think that, most people fight. So that was my just total week. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try to help the person, they know that they're not what they used to be. So it's a difficult thing.
My dad was here maybe a year ago.
Pardon?
I'm saying my dad was here a year ago, as I recall, because he was a situation with his house
You guys have some interesting conversations.
where he was staying. Yeah, yeah, you had one. You were a party to one of our conversations.
Yes.
My
Yes.
dad and I. We respectfully disagree on some things.
And he's not moving. I don't care what you do.
Oh.
You know, Stan, you might be right about that. I didn't hear any of those. But I'm want to say he's like the most stubborn person on the planet. He's I guess maybe some of my steadfastness comes from, I don't know. I thought it was from my mom, but now that I think about my dad is in, he will move. You know, like Glacier. But he's 90 years old. He still drives a school bus every day. He's probably getting home from his morning run, because he'll do the morning run with the kids. Stop by, go back to the little school bus house or wherever they go, and they have coffee. And that's
talk.
amazing that they let him drive the
He
school
still
bus.
passes all the tests. There's tests that they give you in Pennsylvania to be able to drive a school bus. You have to go to the doctor. You got to pass a stress test, all kinds of stuff.
And he passes
He passes them all. And he's just, he doesn't stand up as straight as he used to. But he still gets around, and he's thinking this might be the last year he drives. And he didn't always drive a school, but he drives a school bus because my mother, who's, going on to be in glory. But my mom, when he kind of like retired, I guess after maybe several weeks at home.
You better go get a job, man. Get out of my...
He wasn't going to be around all day working her nerves. So she found a job that he might like. James, you might like, driving the bus with the kid. So that's what he did. He went out and he started driving, part-time in the morning and then in the evening. And he liked it. And he's been doing it ever since.
My aunt did the same thing when she retired. Then my uncle retired, and she said, "Oh no!" But he didn't go out and get another job. She did. She stopped her retirement. She went
There
out
you go.
and got
If
another
he
job.
won't go, I'm going. Right. So
I'm going. I'm not staying here all day with him.
Yeah. But he was staying at a house. Long story short, the guy that had the house passed away because he was older than my dad. So he passed away, and his son took over the house. And then the arrangements that my dad had with the guy's father, because my dad lived on the upper floor, and the other guy lived on the first floor. Mm-hmm. And he passed away. And so the arrangement changed. And very traumatic story, but I won't go into all of that, because he's a real private kind of guy. He would get mad at me if he found out So, long story short, he was out. He
lost his apartment.
Lost the apartment. They in essence, kicked him out. And so he was here for a hot minute. Because he was going to stay in his car.
He was what?
He was going to stay in his car.
He was going to stay in his car?
In his car, right. So my sister was trying to pressure him into making some more rational decisions, so she told him he can't stay with her. So now he's going to be pouty.
Then I'll stay in my car.
She said, well, then you should stay in a Walmart parking lot because they have security. Some cold folk, boy, I'm telling you. McCauley's is some cold folk. Well, you should stay in a Walmart parking lot because they have those little security cameras. That way you'll be safe. Oh my goodness! Oh,
He didn't do that, did he?
I don't know what he did. He wound up here. And in my mind, he was always going to wind up here. So I was good, And but he did not want to give up his independence.
Say your voice is low. He didn't what?
He didn't want to give up his independence.
Oh, okay. All right. See?
He didn't want to give up his independence, to your point. So he said, I just need to, I just need just a week or two to get settled, situated, and then I'll be good once I find a place. And so he applied at this place, like a year ago, and it's a situation with like a HUD senior home kind of a thing. And the waiting list was real long. And lo and behold, he got moved to the top of the list while he was here. And so,
he went.
He went, and my big discussion with my sister was, he's 90 years old. He's been doing pretty good for the last 90 years. Before he was taking care of himself. And he's owned his own company. I mean, he's done all kinds of things. And he's still capable. And so why should we tell him he can't? So I says, all right, Dad, if that's what you want, I'm good, And he left here, and he's got his own apartment. He's got more furniture than he's ever had. It's like he started all over again.
Did he have no furniture when he went in?
He had only what he had in his car. I don't want to even go into it was criminal what they did to him. Criminal. They threw all his stuff out of the house. They forcibly moved him out of his house. Or out of the apartment where he had everything that you can imagine that a person would keep at 90 years old. Military pictures, baby pictures, family pictures.
He has none of that now?
They put it in a warehouse, and then ultimately, long story short, they told him that because he fell behind on the warehouse payment, they just trashed everything. We believe they just stole it. But at this point, that's why I'm saying it's a long backstory, and seniors get taken advantage of.
Oh, yes.
And if you don't have access to them, like proximity, so that's one of the reasons I wanted him to come stay here. But he's fine. The hardest part was letting go of your stuff. And it is just stuff.
It's just stuff.
It is just stuff. Even though it has a deep meaning to you. But it is stuff. It's stuff.
It reminds me of the second law. The second law: do not make idols.
Right. Thou shalt not make any idols.
Right. And
we turn Kleenex into idols. Oh, yeah. This is the Kleenex I cried in at our wedding. Yeah, I mean,
I learned the 10 Commandments. I memorized them so when situations, just like when you were talking just now, that's the first thing that popped in my head, idols. And that's sometimes when I don't want to let go of something, I said, thou shalt not make idols. You don't do it. So, and we do it all the time, man.
All the time.
We don't realize we don't realize that we're doing it, but we do it all the time. And how much lighter we would feel if we just let that go.
Just let it go. Let it go. It's gone. Just let it go.
When my son got burnt out, he lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
He had his family. His family was safe. But material things, he just lost everything. And then he got everything back. So he never worries. Now he never worries. He says, all right, let it go. But it'll come back. I'll get it back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna worry about this stuff. Because he learned through losing everything that, he could get, those are the things he could get back. What he can't get back is his family. He couldn't have got back his daughter if she had been hurt in a fire, or, his wife, or he couldn't have got his family back.
And that's what matters most. I think most people, they never experience total loss. So they really have no concept. Yeah, but you watch it on television, disasters, earthquakes, fires, tornadoes, where a person's sitting there and they say, I lost everything, but I have my family. I don't know that really registers with people if you haven't been burned out like in a fire, like your house, but it's gone. It's gone. But it very quickly comes back. There's so much stuff that we have that, we don't need. And we don't even know what it is.
And
it's in your basement. People pay storage fees for stuff. They don't even know what's in the storage
I've been
shed.
paying it for 12 years. I have no idea what's in that thing by now. I'm in, our church has a thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
The things that come into that thrift store that people never wore, price tags on them, and it just amazes me. I never had that many clothes in my life. So many clothes that I didn't even wear them all. That the tags are still on them. So somebody passes away, and you get all these wonderful clothes, beautiful with tags still on them, and Stan, they keep coming and coming. I said, who in the world has this many clothes? So many clothes. Shoes. People come in there say, well, I have to buy different shoes, so I'm giving this up. The thing is, like,
never
this
wore
big.
the shoes you're
the
getting
shoes.
rid of, but you need a new pair.
Yeah, they need new. So my son gets mad at me because I've always done like shopping at secondhand stores and those kind of places, and he won't do it. He absolutely won't do it. Even if he knows that when he was little, I got some of those toys at the Salvation Army. They were brand new toys, and I didn't tell him, but when he got older, he learned what Mom did. And so some of their clothes, so he really didn't like that. I'm not wearing anybody else's clothes. I'm not wearing anybody else's shoes. I'm not. No.
That's another one of the ones that pride.
Oh.
Idolization, pride.
Yeah. Oh, but my grandchildren get clothes and shoes that I can remember. I bought a pair of shoes for $24 and I felt guilty because I bought these expensive shoes. And I go to the store with my, because that was many years ago, but I go to the store with my grandchildren, and I mean, their sneakers are $80, $100 or more. And they don't think anything of it. A blink of an eye.
But
it disturbs me. What disturbs me is they take and they take and they take, and they don't give anything.
See, and that's
they don't give anything. They don't, and that bothers me. They got so and so name hooked onto their pants or blouse or whatever, but they give nothing. They give nothing. Disturbs me. And then when I talk about God, they went into my library.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they surprised me Saturday, and they came up from Florida for one day. My granddaughter goes into my library, and one of them says, Grandma, could I have a Bible? I said, oh, boy, I jumped up. I said, oh, yes, I got lots of Bibles. Let me see what I can give you. The other granddaughter says, oh, I got a Bible. He's got pictures in it you could color. You can have it. I don't use it. The one with the mouth. So I said, are you going to read this Bible? She says, I'm going to try. And the other one says, well, I don't want to read no Bible because that a king wrote. I said, what king wrote a Bible? She said, you know that king. They wrote his own Bible. I said, I don't know any king that ever wrote a Bible. What are you talking about? I said, the King James. I said, King James really didn't write a Bible. He translated. It was a translation into English. So he was the first to translate the Bible into English. I said, is that what you're talking about? She said, no, this king must be another king. So I'm thinking about these kings. So I said, oh, what king is she talking about? Yeah, because he didn't like what they did. So the next one is Henry VIII, right?
Well, no, she's talking about the King James.
Well,
but she just doesn't know. She's that's what she's been told. So therefore she carries that misconception forward.
I think. Well, she said, and he did his own religion. So that's what I brought up. Henry VIII. I said, you mean Henry VIII in the Church of England? So I because he wanted a divorce, and the Catholic Church said, no, you can't get divorced. He said, oh, no? Watch me. So anyway, so she said, well, I don't know, but it's something. It goes something like that. Now, I wanted to inform her of some things and sit down and talk to her, but she was in such a mood, and her mother had said to her one time that she hated God. She was in such a mood and so much for her.
Her mother said she hated God, or her mother's saying of the young lady that she hates
her mother
God?
said that her mother hated God.
Oh, okay.
So she's a mama's girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, this is not the time to talk to you.
Mm.
And so, and another situation where my cousin has a tumor in his brain, and they said that he doesn't have much time to live. And my aunt went over there. She is a Jehovah's Witness, to give him some lessons in Jehovah. So most of my family are unchurched.
Okay.
And we don't need no Jehovah here. And I said to my son, I said, she was given back. Jehovah has done something. Jehovah has done something for her. It changed her life. Who brought light into her. She has a good life because of Jehovah. And she wants him to share her joy and her light and go through whatever he has to go through. So I'm saying she's sharing. That's all she's doing. She's just sharing it with you. You take it or leave it, but she's sharing, so you don't make fun of her, because that's her life, and she's giving you what she's got.
Right.
And so my son stopped laughing at Auntie, but we all kind of laugh at Auntie, not because of that, because she's Auntie. And he said, well, that's right. So all the family is going to go over there and be with him. And I'm thinking, what should I do? Because I'm not leaving with nothing. I got to do something. So, and they're very strong-minded. But you know something? If you can't do anything else, you take a card, laminate it or something. Take a card. Have those last words You know, he was born, he lived, he suffered, he was crucified, he died, he descended, he was risen into heaven. Do you believe those things? If you believe those things, you are saved. You know, so just put it on the card. Because there's going to be a time when he is going to be alone. No family. You can't take that journey with anybody but God. That he may pick up that card and say those words that are on that card. They give him comfort. You don't have to blow it at him and try to knock him over the head with it. Just give him the card. And say the time will come, you'll know when to use it. You know, and leave him alone. And so that's what I decided I'm going to do.
That's a good choice.
That's what I decided that I'm going to do. Because there will be attacks. You know, they will attack. Because I believe in God. They always say, I believe in God. So I don't have to go to church. I don't have to do nothing. I could just breeze along through life without knowing anything.
Well, you know, that's sort of like I believe in my lawyer or in lawyers. Yeah, but, you know, you just was in an accident. It wasn't your fault. You're not going to call the lawyer? I don't need to call him. I believe in him. Yeah, but you got to like reach out and have him work for you. No. As long as I believe, I'll be fine. You know, so you believe.
Reach out still, but you know. You have to do something.
Right.
You got to give God something to work with. You don't sit in that chair and go zap. He's not a magician. He's put people out there with all different kinds of talents and this and that. Go out and find one.
Yeah,
pray
access.
that you got the right one and keep going. But people think that they can just believe. But you can't believe and sit down.
Well, you know, you talked about, you know, the giving back, doing something, you know. Faith without works is dead. And where's the action? So, I mean, you say you believe, but where's the action? And do you have any confidence in it? So, you know, action based upon a belief that forms a confidence of the heart. So believing is a great place to start. But where's the actual action? Where's the outward manifestation of what you say you believe? And so you were talking about how the young people are, not just young people, people in general, they consume, but they don't give. They don't give. They just consume. We're addicted to consumption. We become very emotional, and we consume. It was funny the other night. I must have spent, I'd say, a good 3 hours, maybe from like 11:30 to almost like 2:30 in the morning, online, Amazon, B&H Photo Video. And as you look around this room, do you think I need another camera?
Well, you got quite a few.
I was online because I just this feeling came over me. You should get a new camera. And so now I'm trying to find. I went from cameras the size of a postage stamp to full-blown camera. I'm just trying to find I need another camera. I can't figure out why I need it or what I need it for.
Is this a brain feeling time?
This was just a feeling. But my brain was telling me, now you know you don't need any more cameras. The cameras you have are more than enough. You have a camera for this. You have a camera for that. You have these are tools that you use. So how are you going to use that camera? You're just going to take it out of the box when you get it? What are you going to use it for? You're going backwards. I was going back to the $98 cameras. You know, well, I could use a better camera for, and just you're trying to justify the feeling that you have, you know that it makes no sense. No. There are all kinds of indicators. Sometimes there's social pressures telling you that doesn't make any sense, but you push through it and ignore it and rationalize it. But we're addicted to consumption. They have you shopping and spending money all the time. Just go buy, spend. And people have closets full of clothes they've never worn, shoes they've never worn, jewelry they've never worn, items they don't use, technology that they don't use. And we're,
but if you spend too much, then of course you get into the credit card debt and all of that kind of thing.
They'll extend the debt for you because you'd be trapped.
I looked up my credit. Every once in a while I check it. And so it was pretty good. And then all of a sudden it dropped. And I said, well, why did it drop? So then I looked up why it dropped. Mm-hmm. It dropped because
you don't spend enough?
One credit card increased. I said, what the heck? Isn't that supposed to happen? What are you talking about? So, and then one time it dropped, and I said...
Now, what do you mean increased? The debt load increased, or the amount of credit you had increased?
The debt load increased.
Okay.
So I'm saying, well, I'm not late. I'm not, and I didn't do anything. What is due will be paid. But it increased. And I just didn't understand that. Just like, you get the first time homeowners and they give you this loan, but you don't have to pay it back, and you have to stay in it to 5 years or something like that. Well, they turned that into the credit bureau. The credit bureau dropped my credit about 13, 14 points. Zero debt. Not late for nothing. Didn't do anything. So I called up the credit bureau. I said, what are you doing? Why did that happen? They said, no, because they reported it. And when they reported it for the amount that because they gave me the down payment, so it's quite a bit. When they did that, your credit drops because you have more debt. But I don't have any debt. You don't have to pay it back. They said, we know that. But still, it's more debt. So it's something, and it goes down. So I said, I'm not looking at this crazy thing anymore. I'm not looking at this credit report thing. I'm not checking it anymore because it does not make sense to me. Mm-hmm. One time it was way up. Now it's here. Now it's there. But for no fault of my own. I mean, I didn't do anything. I wasn't late for anything. So I don't understand how they calculate it.
I don't know.
So I'm finished. I'm finished.
Yeah, the credit folk are. They
do their own thing. Let them do their own thing. I haven't looked at it my whole life. I'm just looking at it lately since I moved, and so I'm not going to do that anymore. I said I'll keep doing what I'm doing best as I can and just leave it alone.
All right. Well, we'll take a short break. And then we'll be right back. Oh, stick and stay. Don't go anywhere, my friends. We, as they say, we will return.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
That, of course, is my good friend Jay Hogarth. I'm gonna play another Jay Hogarth song here. So, what's going on, Stan? Play. There we go. I love this song. This is In the Beginning. Praise God. That's the name of the song. Like I can see the Garden of Eden. Yeah. So that's what I see. Yeah. And then the creation. It's like the whole story in music. We'll play this and then we'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Where's my ending graphics? They didn't come up. All right, well. I thought there was a graphic slate, like at the opening. I don't know why that's not there. Jay Hogarth. Unfortunately, you weren't able to make it to the Artist Collective. And that was a fabulous concert.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, it sounds like you're mumbling.
Oh, wow. Can you hear me better?
Yes.
All right. I'll turn the house volume up. I can hear me, but you can't.
Right.
All right. I'll turn up your monitor. All right. That's better though.
Yes.
Okay. It sounds like I'm too hot. Like my mic is too loud. Yeah, no, I was saying that he did a concert over at Artist Collective. Jay.
Oh.
It was.
I think you did mention that.
It was really good. It's free.
I love the free stuff.
It was free. 2 sets. Packed.
It was packed?
Packed.
Probably the one Monday night, yesterday, was probably packed too. At the Park Plaza.
Parkville.
I'm sorry. I've only been there one day. Where did I go? I've been there twice and I never knew it was even there. Parkville. And
Yes.
it's on Park Street, right?
It's on Park and Bartholomew. Right? You know where Bartholomew is?
Yeah, near the bridge.
Right near the bridge, right. You go under the bridge and then boom, it's on, like right there.
Oh.
Parkville. Parkville Plaza.
Parkville Plaza, okay.
It's a eatery.
I've been there. Yeah, it's huge.
Huge.
A lot of vendors.
It's doing very well. Very well. Very well. Very well.
You're doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
My wife loves to go there.
I have to go more often. My grandchildren took me.
Yeah, they have all kinds of food.
Yeah, from different places. Yeah.
From different vendors. I joke with my wife. I says, all they have is rice. It's like everybody's got rice. A different version of rice. But there's more than rice there, though.
Well, rice, that's the poor man's food.
Mm-hmm.
It's rice. Rice, beans.
Yeah. Wow, our time's run out. I didn't realize it was this late. All right. Well, Miss Cleo, I'll see you next week.
Okay, I'll be here. If I can be here, I'll be here.
I'm sure you will. Now, we have an elections at the Lions on the 16th.
On the 16th? I hope I'm consigned. Yeah.
$16th.
Okay. I don't know if I'll be there, but I'll try.
Because you're one of the officers.
Yeah, I'm hoping I have some resolution about some of these things. It takes a lot to make the decision. Yeah.
Well, I'll keep you in my prayers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you all out there. Christmas is coming.
What kind of Christmas are you?
What kind of Christmas do you plan to have? What kind of Christmas will you have this year? What kind of?
Oh, ask if there's someone would, call in and tell them they have a different plan tell us about it.
Leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Right. If you're watching the program, write down what kind of Christmas will you have this year. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then just ignore the question. But for those of you who celebrate, what kind of Christmas will you have this year?
Well, I'd love to hear some comments.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Well, we'll follow up on this next week.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, we're going to go out with a little bit more. Jay Hogart, you all have a great rest of your day. 11 o'clock, for those of you watching us live, Jonathan will be here with his special guest on Face to Face. So stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. Stay here on accesstv.org, and we'll see you all real soon. You have a blessed rest of your day. Bye-bye now.